All right.
All right, all right. I think we're in.
All right. Are you able to hear me?
Yep, I can hear you pretty well.
Oh, good.
Although, repeat something back for me, Dennis.
Sure.
Or just say anything.
Oh, sorry. I got too many pop-ups coming up on my screen. So,
Bit
any
of-
good?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your voice isn't. It sounds like you're not on. Doesn't sound like you're on speaker. Your voice,
All
I
right.
can hear you, but it's not very loud.
Okay. Any better if I get closer? Let's see here. Do. Hey, I can hear you loud and clear. How about me? Well,
I can't hear. I can hear you fine, but your voice isn't very loud. Is the main problem.
crap. Okay. Let me see here. Do.
No.
Unfortunately, this is not the greatest microphone.
Check on here, see if there's a way I can maybe enhance your audio, but I don't think so. All right, try to say something, Dennis.
Okay. Any better? Yes, no, maybe. Hopefully.
No. Okay, try now.
Okay, how am I sounding now?
Okay,
Any
no.
better?
Well, hold on, say something.
Okay. How's it working
Okay,
now?
that's 100% better. Holy crap, it worked. I got
joys
it,
of
guys. We
technology.
fixed the audio.
Woo!
Yep, it worked. All right. First of all, everybody, this might be a little bit different here on the Nostalgia Factor channel. For those of you guys who tune into the stream at any point, decide to watch with us, that's greatly appreciated. If you watch this as a video after we're done, absolutely. Thank you guys for watching that afterwards. Today, guys, we are going to be doing a live discussion on retro gaming and specifically on an RPG that I have covered here on the channel in the past. Well, the first game anyway, not really so much the sequel. In order for me to talk about this RPG, however, I invited back my buddy Dennis from Rulebooks Anonymous. You might recognize him on this channel from the Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories video.
That brings back some memories.
Oh, absolutely it does. It brings back so many fun memories of great boss fights, repetitive gameplay, dungeon layout. It was a fantastic time.
Yes.
All around. Yep. Absolutely. And fortunately, guys, I want to say right off the bat for this video or stream, whichever one it is to you, I am pleased to say that compared to the original Lunar review that I did, this game has no Nash in it. So it's a plus right off the bat.
A plus right off the bat.
100% yes. He was very much, for me, still the worst RPG character I've ever met. Hands down. There's no contest.
And his stupid hair.
And his stupid hair as well. His character arc, his attitude, his hair, it was all horrible. No matter how you slice it. My gosh. But with that being said, guys, we are going to roll right into Lunar 2 here. You guys know who Dennis is, I think, at this point, so I don't think an introduction is really necessary on that one.
I think we're good.
I think we're definitely good on that one. If you guys don't know who he is, check out his podcast. You guys will be more than entertained on that front.
Gosh, I hope so. We've done 8 seasons now.
Oh, gosh. We've known each other for quite a long time. Holy crap.
6 years, I want to say.
6 years, something like that, yeah. Time flies by.
Yeah.
In our year of 2026 now.
Yes.
This is... Jeez. Well, I feel old, and I'm only 27.
Oh, I don't want to hear it, young man. I'm in my 40s.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Dennis, I thought you were like 21 or 22.
Nope, I am 43. I'm 44 in a few months.
Oh, gotcha. That explains why you give off the "how do you do, fellow kids" vibe.
Yes.
So That sounds about right.
The gray hair's coming in, so it's all
Oh,
good.
don't worry. It's better than having no hair. I wouldn't know, of course, but uh, But yes, guys, you know who we are at this point. Let's just jump straight into the review. So like we do with videos here in the past, I might want to change this one up a little bit. Typically what I've done before to add structure to a lot of these streams or videos is to go in 5 different categories, which you could break down arguably any video game into, from characters, visuals, story, music, that kind of thing. But I want to do something different with this one. I'd like to just casually discuss everything that we want to about Lunar. And if it leads into some other discussion on retro gaming, that's cool too. But we'll focus on Lunar here for now.
Okay.
So then, to start us off, since you're the guest here, I like to make it special as always. What's the first thing that comes to mind for you when you think about how good Lunar is, or maybe how good it isn't? Depends on what you think about the sequel, of course.
Well, I have to say it's probably the visuals, because I'm a fan of those kinds of visuals. This is one of those old 32-bit era type games, originally on the Sega CD way back in the day. But it's one of those things where I don't think it needs any kind of visual upgrade for the most part. It's perfect the way it is. It works so well with just the sprites.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Bright, colorful. You can see emotion in them, whereas like some AAA games today, you don't see a whole lot of emotion. It's just static. But it's like, how did you get better effects from pixel art than you did from all of this stuff built on like Unreal 5 or whatever?
I agree with you on that too. I'm also a sucker for pixel art and a lot of old school RPGs and just video games in general. It has a certain style that really hasn't left the gaming industry. And the visuals, I can't add much onto what Dennis said just right off the bat. The visuals in Lunar 2 look absolutely impressive. Every environment that you explore, the bright poppy colors, the tower location that you start off with Hero and your party along with his grandfather. Or you look up at the sky and you see Lunar shining in the background, the forest, the lake effects, the battle animations. It all looks great. And the expression part is really evident in this title too compared to the original, because unlike the original game, every time the characters have a different emotion when they're talking in cutscenes or just normal dialogue, there's so many more character portraits this time around that show up on screen that show they're changing in expression or emotion. And while it seems like a subtle detail from a game from 1996 or 1998, one 94. Of the two. 94? Okay, so wow, yeah. It's even older than I thought. Holy crap.
Well, if we're going by the original Sega CD version, then it was 94, but I think it was 98-ish when
98-ish for the PS1. But it goes to show, though, the visuals still hold up, though, from the Saturn era and from the PS1 remake that it got in 98. Because those character portraits, again, add a lot of detail and expression. And all in all, the game just looks fantastic. And the first thing that actually, Dennis, the first thing when you said there are some video games that have come out in recent years that really don't match what pixel art games did, my mind immediately went to Kingdom Hearts 2 with all this, with half of it being static faces for a good chunk of the game where there's no real emotion at all.
Yeah, I actually finished beating that just this like a couple of weeks ago. Nice. My original goal was to work my way through all the Kingdom Hearts games and beat them last year. It did not happen. I got hung up on Chain of Memories and then just like some of the boss fights in Kingdom Hearts 2. I had forgotten how hard they were.
Yep, oh wow. Some of the boss fights in that game are definitely taxing, specifically Demyx, Zaldin. Those were 2 pretty bad fights for me. The last phase of the Xemnas fight in that game is also pretty bad. The laser dodging.
Yes.
That's another thing to much easily compare from a hack and slash RPG series like Kingdom Hearts to something like Lunar. Because with Eternal Blue, if we're speaking toward boss fights, not only do they look visually impressive, but they are much better than the original game. There's a lot more variety. There's more detail in the attacks and the animations. There's a lot more build-up this time around, because in the original game, you were going on a journey to visit all the dragons throughout the world in order to collect each one of the fragments that Alex needed to become the Dragon Master, ultimately. Yes. In this game, it's not really the same case. You're not on a quest to gather trinkets. You're instead going there to figure out more and more about this new villain, Zophar, that popped up, the resurrection of Ciri's favorite protagonist, Galleon, and then figure out more about this mysterious new girl that Hero met in a tower at the beginning of the game and discover her origins, because she's allegedly from that desolate planet Lunar that's hanging high in the sky. So the journey that you're actually taking and fighting these bosses seems a lot more natural. Because like there's one point in the game where you head into the snowy mountain village that's plagued by an eternal blizzard. No one can figure out why. Villagers are going missing. Well, it turns out it has nothing to do with the greater journey. You're just taking out an abominable snowman who's causing all these blizzards and freezing this town dry. Mm-hmm. So that's just a scenario right there where the bosses in this game aren't just great from the usual RPG gameplay perspective, but it actually has like some side questy world building moments that have nothing to do with the story.
What's also nice is that it does have throwbacks to the original game, so it ties up a couple of loose ends from the original game while not making it feel forced. So that it does feel like a true sequel in the sense that you're not just kind of shoehorning stuff in and like, oh, by the way, this happened, but it was off screen in the first game.
Oh, gosh. Can only imagine on that front, because if there's one thing I can confirm, that there is a change from the original game, not just like with the visuals or boss fights. Another great change from Lunar 1 to 2 is that Nash is dead, long by like 1,000 years. So we don't have to worry about him, because the reason I say that isn't just because I don't like Nash in any way. I mean, we talked about this a few years ago on a podcast episode we did talking about the original Lunar.
Yeah.
But he is one of the... I don't like Nash. I don't like him in this series, and as far as RPG characters go, I never think about him because he's that bad. That being said, though, when we're talking about Lunar 2 specifically, this game's party members are actually set up extremely well, I would say, for the most part. There were a lot of standouts for me this time around that I really enjoyed, and a lot of people who their personalities are quite similar to some people from the original, but they're a lot different. Like Ron Farr, for example, in this game, you could call him a dumbed-down version of Kyle from the original. He's a gambler. He likes to drink. He loves women, that kind of thing. But the difference is, though, he's actually a guy with a kind heart. With his ultimate goal, he's funny and witty. He trusts people a lot more easily than Kyle. He's willing to lend a hand more as the story goes along. He uses these habits that he has, like his gambling addiction, to the party's advantage to help them out through multiple situations throughout the game. He's a much better version and fleshed-out version of Kyle, ultimately having a goal of saving the love of his life toward the end of the game, who's possessed by the bad guy this game so far. Mm-hmm. So the way I see it, that's just one example of how the party has evolved throughout the game.
Isn't he also the healer of the group?
He is, actually, too. His healing's a little bit different, though. Jessica was the original healer in the first Lunar game, and her healing attacks were pretty standard. You know, you're used to seeing in a JRPG kind of deal. Ron Farr is a little bit different. Not only does his moveset consist of gambling attacks where he rolls a set of die, and that determines how much damage he does, but his healing consists of whacking you with a stick or a staff. So his healing is very good. It has a wider range than Jessica does, but the way he casts it is very different.
Well, and that's also something that was a little bit unusual for the day, because it was usually a female was your healer.
Exactly.
It was not common to have a male healer. And so that added a little bit more to his character. It's like, this degenerate gambler can heal my party. What the heck's going on there?
It's like, whoa, they're flipping these tropes on their head. And they do that a lot throughout the game. Look, even with some of the other characters in the party, I'm not great with names when it comes to some of these older RPGs. So forgive me if I forget or butcher any of these names, guys, as we go. But one thing I will say, though, for the people whose names I do remember, Hero compared to Alex is a much better character. I loved Hero in this game more than Alex. Alex, I know, filled the stereotypical silent JRPG protagonist from the original. He served his purpose. His relationship with Luna, becoming the Dragon Master, he's the ultimate hero. We get it. It's been done in a lot of RPGs. Hero is very different. He has his own personality, dialogue, motivations, his own funny moments throughout the game. He's a fully fleshed out person like you would expect from a typical RPG cast, which says something in this series based on how Alex was in the original game. The sequel game does Hero a lot more justice, I think, and I really loved his development throughout the game. He has a lot of, again, funny and humorous moments. He evolves more as a hero, and he's more determined to rescue this mysterious girl they find, who ends up becoming the love of his life. And he becomes more and more determined in order to not only humanize her a bit more by teaching her about how the world actually works, but also, again, making the ultimate sacrifice at the end of the game for himself to be with who he cares about. And that's something I love in a leading JRPG protagonist, at least compared to Alex in the original. He's not a bad character, but I loved Hero a lot more.
Well, Alex was very much a cookie cutter for the time kind of hero. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing.
No,
that's just how he was. In terms of hero, he didn't start off as a hero per se. I mean, just because his name is Hero doesn't mean that he is a hero.
It's not even spelled the same way, I don't think either. Yeah, treasure hunter.
Yeah, and there's only so many times you can hear him say dodge this when you're using his attacks in the game.
Stupid boomerang.
Yes. I'm glad you brought up Lucia, the mysterious girl. So one of the interesting things, one of the interesting things with her character is that she starts off somewhat emotionless because she's just been stuck on, and I think that they are on Lunar, and that Eternal Blue is like supposed to be Earth, so it's like Earth and the Moon kind of deal. So I think that she was on Eternal Blue, and they're all still on Lunar. I mean, it's been a while since I played, but in regards to her, she's waiting for the goddess to fix all the problems and everything, but she has like no emotions at the start of the game. There's a scene where Hero walks in on her and she doesn't have anything on, and she just like kind of shrugs it off. Yeah. But later on, when he sees her and she realizes that he sees her naked, then she's like embarrassed and covers up. And it's like, that's a huge difference.
Yeah, and that adds to the emotional depth of the game as well, the further on you go. Because in the beginning, she doesn't realize that it's a custom that's not something that should be done. You know, guys shouldn't be looking at you in the hot springs, you know, when you're not wearing anything. And then as she develops throughout the game, meeting more people, learning about happiness, sadness, different types of emotions, she actually gets embarrassed and scolds Hero for staring at her. Whereas at the beginning of the game, she really didn't care. She wandered into the same side of the hot springs with Hero. And now all of a sudden, because she's realizing, oh, wait a second, this is embarrassing. What are you doing? You're peeping Tom. So it's a subtle kind of lewd example, but it goes to show Lucia's how she develops as a character throughout the game in all these different ways that you can see emotionally and becoming more than just like the robot she's presented at the beginning.
Yep. Well, and that just makes for better storytelling.
It does, honestly.
You see the growth of the character, not just from stat point of view, but also from like an emotional and physical standpoint like that.
That's 100% on that. The other half of it is too, they have, with Lucia, she adds so much to the story because in contrast to the original with Luna had no idea who she was. And then as this game went on, she eventually discovers she's the reincarnation of Althea, whichever goddess it is in the series. But the point is, she was the reincarnation of a great god and spirit in this universe that people looked up to, worship, whatever. In this game, though, Lucia has no idea who she is. Again, she has amnesia right off the bat. So it kind of adds a more mysterious vibe to this new female character or lead. And as she develops throughout the game, becoming her own person and learning about how customs are done on, Earth and all that, she eventually discovers the truth about the goddess, She is I believe she's the distant offspring of Athena and Alex. Because 1,000 years into the future, I think she's descended from them, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not sure either, to be honest. I don't know if she's supposed to be another reincarnation of Luna, or if she's descended from Alex and Luna's line, like family line. They don't really make that clear. Because she's had a crystal on Lunar on the moon at the beginning, and then she ends up sent to Earth afterwards. So I don't remember exactly. If any of you Lunar historians out there know, please let us know in the comments. But one thing I will say, though, is that it still adds a lot of depth to her character. And with her in mind, too, of course, when you have Alex and Luna from the original, now you have Hero and you have his companion. You also have your dragon companion as well in this game. Because instead of Null from the original, we have Ruby in this one.
Ruby's okay, but I liked Null better.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed things because I've done some research on Reddit and a few other places. I don't research there normally, but yes, awful place. But I have seen opinions, though, from people because realistically, these forums are the only place you see these games talked about nowadays. They're so old and people are focused on so many other newer titles and multiplayer games. But from what I gather online, a lot of people like Null more than Ruby. Because Null he was a comedic personality. He was Alex's best friend. He pushed the plot forward. He was someone who was always determined to do the right thing and, help out people in need. And he played a big role toward the end of the game, realizing his true heritage as a dragon. Ruby isn't like that in this game. Ruby is also a dragon. She knows she's a baby dragon. That's pretty obvious right off the start. She looks like a cat, similar to Null. The difference is this time, though, she has that whiny, bossy personality. She's in love with Hero for some reason. She's jealous when other people move in on him throughout the game. She's sassy. She makes constant jokes and remarks like Null, but the difference is, though, she does it in a more crude fashion. Null does it to be clever when the opportunity arises. She's picking fights with everybody throughout the game. So, and although she's not a bad character at all, Null definitely had a more solid personality for an RPG.
I would agree with that, because Null felt like a real party member. Not Ruby was just kind of there.
Yeah,
at least in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
You do get to see what became of Null after you get a little bit ways through this, I guess, minor spoilers for anyone that hasn't played it yet. But you do get to see that Null has grown up a little bit, even though it's 1,000 years in the future. But he's not like an old man or anything. He's like 17 or 18, at least in terms of physical appearance, because he has a human appearance in this versus his cat dragon-ish appearance.
Yeah. Which is apparently one of 3 forms he can take. He can be full-blown dragon, cat dragon form, and then a human form to kind of blend in better. So I don't know if other dragons can do that necessarily, but Null learned how to, I guess, in 1,000 years, because he's immortal. They make that pretty clear in the game that he's going to live forever. So same thing with Ruby. Yeah. Yeah. And they make light of that too. There's another really cool throwback toward the end of the game with Null. If you didn't play the original, Null's, before they go and take on Zophar toward the end of the game, when the party finally defeats all of his lieutenants, they finally gather for the final showdown. Before Null sees him off, he reminisces on his time in the original game with all of his friends, about Alex, about Jessica, about everybody that he went on his journey with, and how he still misses them and that they're all gone. And I had 2 thoughts when this scene was playing. One, this is an extremely emotional scene, because Null realizes that he's grown old. He's alone in the world, without his original friends. Every person that he meets is like being immortal. You're going to see everybody pass by, but that was a pretty sad scene. My other question, though, that I don't know why the developers carried it over for its dialogue. I get the fact that he misses Alex because he was his best friend from Berg, and, you meet the other party members along the way. What good memories does he have of Nash is my question. Like, what good times did they have together that he's missing Nash, of all people? I get
when
Jessica
Nash
and
got his
Mia
ass
and
handed to him.
Yeah.
He got his ass handed to him in that boss fight. Maybe,
they should have done that in the dialogue scene.
Well, one of the nice things about Null is that he helped you out occasionally. Like, you'd see him like flying above the battlefield, and occasionally he would attack. So maybe he's thinking back to like, Nash was in that stupid suit in the boss fight, and I came and I scratched the crap out of his face.
Yep, stomped him flat.
Yes.
Yep, good times all around.
Good times at his expense, probably.
Yeah, good times at his expense. I mean, I never got that. That's just a minor thing I have with Null's dialogue in that scene. Like, Nash literally did nothing good in the game except toward the end, and that's after he's trashed by the party and betrayed by Galleon.
Yeah.
So I don't get that part. But speaking of Galleon, funnily enough, yes, he does show up again in this game. If you're familiar with the original Lunar, you watched our old episode on it. Galleon was the main villain from the original. Not a bad villain. He was solid all around, but not one of the best RPG villains. But he is greatly improved in this one, I think.
Yep, he is now the Dragon Master. He's got all the armor and the weaponry and all that. And he's just walking around like no one can stop him. And he just seems a lot more confident in his power this time around.
Absolutely. And he's this big villain, Aiden Zophar, causing destruction among the land, kidnapping people, trying to assassinate others, mocking Hero and the party every chance he can get, easily defeating them at one point when they try and confront him in their hideout. You would think after all of that, Galleon is coming back as another villain working for Zophar. Big twist, though. He's actually not. He's actually a good guy, believe it or not.
It's one of those cool things where it's like, he's beating you up for a reason, is that you need to learn that you've got to be better as a hero, essentially.
That's the whole point throughout the game. Everything Galleon does, there's a reason why he doesn't instantly kill the party, kill Hero, why he holds back on doing so many evil things while taunting you, is because he's testing you throughout the game. Because when Galleon was resurrected from his tomb that you encounter partway through the game, he actually feels remorse for what happened 1,000 years in the past, realizing the mistakes that he made. And well, he's alive because of Zophar and he's pretending to be evil on the surface. He, in his own way, is actually guiding Hero and friends toward defeating Zophar and saving the world as part of his redemption. So they gave him a redemption arc in this one. It's not obvious at first, but you start to see signs of it the more and more you go. Like toward the middle of the game, where Galleon and Hero fight each other and Galleon wins, he doesn't immediately kill Hero or anything. He mocks him, but he also tells him in his own roundabout way, this is all you can do? How do you expect to beat Zophar and save the world when you can't even strike me down? So, and you learn, and the cracks start to appear more and more in this evil persona he has until near the end of the game where he fully reveals his intentions.
Yeah, and it was a great reveal. The voice actor they had, I believe it was the same guy.
So much better, though, in this game compared to the original.
Yeah,
the voice acting period is
definitely
better.
Improved. He definitely improved, but like he did so well as a villain in the first one, and now just like playing Gallant, like you can feel the emotion in his voice when he's talking about how he does have that remorse. And it was just an excellent job by the voice actor. And I apologize for not knowing the guy's name, but I mean, he's probably on IMDb.
Yeah, he probably is somewhere. I'm sure he has it listed on his Twitter page, like the old voice actor for Sephiroth did.
Yeah.
On his Twitter page. So it's probably nothing new on that one. But that's what I loved. And the best scene with Galleon, I think, because Lunar 2, the whole point of this is it expands so much more on the story and the characters compared to the original. And the fact that they redeemed Galleon says a lot. Because toward the end of the game, Galleon has this scene where after he gives Hero his sword, he realizes he's dying and passing away. When Zophar realizes he betrayed him, he's going to take away his life and he's going to die again. He looks up to the heavens and he says to Dyne, it's in their hands now. I'm sorry for what I did, but they're going to be great heroes like you, huh? So, and that's when Galleon gets his redemption. Instead of going back to rot in the underworld like he did, Galleon's redemption, it's implied, it shows he goes to heaven at the end of it. Or he ascends into a higher plane of being to be reunited with Dyne at the end of the game. To show that his redemption arc's been complete. You see this big ray of light surround him, he looks peacefully, and then he disappears into the sky. Kind of deal.
And it's nice when RPGs actually give you that answer rather than just kind of leaving it to your own imagination.
Exactly.
So
on that one, rather than just
beautiful scene.
Oh, it is absolutely. It's one of the best scenes in the game, I think, and a really great way in this series to cap off Galleon's story. Because they could have easily done it where Galleon's mortally wounded. It's like, okay, he's going to die. We'll just leave him at the top of the castle while we go fight Zophar. But no, they actually took the time to show an emotional scene to show that his redemption has come full circle.
Yes.
So that he has redeemed himself in helping to save the world. It took 1,000 years, but he did it. Although, to be fair, he was dead, so.
Well, patience is a virtue.
Patience is a virtue, even if it takes 1,000 years.
Yes. He had a lot to make up for.
He 100% did.
Yeah.
I didn't forgive him for the grindery dungeon until I played Lunar 2.
Oh.
The dungeon sucked.
One. Yes.
Yep. But we'll say, speaking toward dungeons and whatnot in this game for the layout, one thing I will say, I'm curious from you, Dennis, because I don't know exactly if it does or not. Do you think like the dungeon layout in this game is better than the original? Because to be honest, the gameplay-wise, I don't have too much to add on to this one. Each one of the party members, including some we haven't talked about, have unique mechanics. But if you play the original Lunar, where you have 5 party members on screen, you can encounter enemies in dungeons. There's no random encounters on the overworld or period. You have weapons, armor, equipment, currency you can buy items with, special abilities. There's not really anything unique about the gameplay side of things, but what about the dungeons?
Well, the dungeons, I would say, were probably on par with the first game in terms of layout. I mean, they had limited memory with what they could work with back then. So, I mean, it does show a little bit.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about the mechanics, one of the things I do like about the Lunar series is that when my characters level up, even if they're not getting an ability or a new magic spell or something, I do feel a difference in their abilities. I do feel like they have gotten stronger. That was something that I noticed when I played the first Lunar, and it's the same thing with this one. Like I'm grinding, and all of a sudden level up, and it's like, wow, this actually feels like I've made progress. There's other RPGs I've played where I could level up a few times, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not noticing a big enough difference in like damage I'm taking, damage I'm dealing, what have you. So it's nice that it feels like you've accomplished something.
Exactly. Because the further you go down in this game, the more experience you gain, the more you level up, the more you notice a difference. You're gaining new attacks, new magic spells, new healing abilities, like in Ronfar's case. Hero has a bunch of different abilities that he can use, like his boomerang techniques, his sword abilities that he has. I'm bad with the names, I'm sorry. I told you guys this up front. But
stand by.
Yeah.
I got the spiffy guide from way back in the day.
Dennis has a cheat sheet, so all the names I don't know, he can pick out right here.
All right. Okay, so we've got Hero, Ruby, Gwyn, Lucia, Ronfar, Jean. I'm sure that some of these are just guest characters. Hold on.
There's only one guest character I can think of. That was Leo. Leo was a guest character a few times.
Oh, I liked him. Lamina. Yeah, Lamina. She's the your mage guild person.
Oh yeah, that's I completely forgot about her for some reason.
Yeah, Ronfar.
She's the money obsessed party member of yours that wants to get the Magic Guild back up to power.
Yes. So yeah, so I mean, there we go. But anyways, yeah, they get lots of good powers and everything.
Yep.
My God, there's so much in this.
For those of you watching this who are under the age of 12 or maybe 10, this is how people used to have to look up video games back in the day. They're called books.
So one of the really nice things about this book, you know, besides I don't have to plug it in or anything like that, I'm really showing my age here with this.
Yeah, don't have to plug in a book. Yeah.
It's got a comic strip throughout the book, and it's the characters just doing funny things. Like there's one in here where Null's trying to extort money from Lucia, and she's emptying her pockets, and it's just increasingly weird things that she's pulling out of her pockets, like tuna fish, and like Null's like, well, I prefer tuna safe dolphin instead, and she pulls out a dragon egg. It's like, where are you getting this stuff? So I mean, it's just funny little humor bits like that.
They don't make them like they used to, folks.
They really don't. And it's like I said, you know, I can play this online or offline, and I've got my book right here.
Lucky bastard. If you want to get a hold of one, guys, it's probably going to cost you an arm and a leg. Hate to be the one to tell you.
It's the Working Designs one, and that one, I mean, this one, when I got it right at about the same time as I got the game. So back in the 1900s.
Late 1900s.
So late 1900s. So this is like a hardback version. I've kept very good care of it. Contrast that with the one that I have for the first Lunar, which is significantly thinner, despite being about as beefy as this one. And this one's a little bit more flimsy, but I mean, still good shape. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice to have the books on hand, because I've gone back and done a lot of these older games, and it's nice to have my guides right there. Occasionally I do look up boss strategies on YouTube or what have you, but I like the feel of the guide in my hands. But I mean, that's a personal preference.
Congratulations, Dennis. You just aged yourself another 10 years in the minds of my audience.
Hey, old school is good school.
Because I'm willing to bet 10 years from now, just like that, people are going to be looking at books and like, what are those things? We have iPads. Everyone's going to remember iPads as the old book, and those are still old. They're from like the early 2000s. That'll be the new book. The Nook, the iPad, all those fancy reading devices.
Yeah, I still got mine now. Actually, I'm just looking around because I'm surrounded by games and books. My office is half books. So, kids, remember, reading for fun is a good thing.
Yes, it is. But bunch of nerds, I know.
Yes. So, kind of tying in with the guide. So, I did get I think at the time they only had this version of the game, so this is the complete version.
Yep, the collector's edition.
Collector's edition. I don't think I've ever seen a version of it not like that, except for secondhand.
I think so. Because if I'm remembering correctly, for Lunar Eternal Blue, it originally came out in the Saturn, like we said before, in '94. That's not a collector's edition. It's like the regular long Sega Saturn case that you might traditionally see. Then you have the collector's edition that came out in 1998. It came with a bunch of stuff related to the game. And that was, believe it or not, one of 3 collector's editions that actually came up on the PS1 era. So you had Lunar 1, Lunar 2, and then you had Arc the Lad. Those were the 3. I do not. Not anymore, anyway.
I will check the same store that I messaged you about with Lunar 2. I think they have Arc the Lad.
Okay. Arc the Lad is one I never owned. Lunar 1 and 2 I've shown off in the past, but I have never tracked down Arc the Lad.
I will check tomorrow. I will let you know. I will give you their website if they do.
No, thanks. Appreciate it. I hope it hasn't climbed to like $1,000 now or something.
I don't think so, because like Lunar 2, like the version that I saw, I mean, the box was a little bit beat up. I have no idea if it's got all the spiffy extras. It was about $125.
I mean, that sounds right, actually. It's like $125, $150.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
Yeah.
Still not cheap printed, but
No.
It's something at the very least.
Anyway, it's got came with the soundtrack.
Nice.
Here's the box that has all the extras in it. So got my map. Oh, sorry. Got my map. Got my little standees that I've never taken out. Here's the Lucia's pendant, which is like real metal.
It's actually pretty high quality.
Yeah. And then, of course, the game.
Of course,
Working Designs was such a great company back in the day. Like they were amazing products.
They did. I mean, the collector's editions alone that they worked on were just top quality. No wonder that they're so rare now. They're desirable for a reason. When they were bringing back all these classic RPGs, making them into collector's editions, then adding in legitimate stuff from the game. Because nowadays, when you see a collector's edition, you don't see stuff like the medallion, the Omaki box, the director hardback art book with director interviews and artwork from the game. You'll typically have the stereotype of big box, steelbook, maybe a soundtrack if you're lucky, in a traditional collector's edition. Unless you're willing to pay out a lot more money for a bunch of other stuff.
You have to be very careful with that because there's many instances of people getting burned from those collector's edition. I think my favorite one was for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Everyone thought that they were going to get the case with the awesome versions of the Infinity Stones, and they were like shiny Easter eggs.
Yep, that's all they were. I remember shortly after that came out, they were literally gathering dust for years in my Walmart. Nobody would buy them. The game came out in 2019, and they sat there until like 2023, and nobody bought them. I was tempted to do it just to do a video on them, but Walmart was still charging like $100 or so for each of them, and I don't know why.
Not worth it.
No, it's not worth it at all. By the way, I played the game sidebar. It sucks. It's not a good fighting game.
It really isn't.
No, it's not. It's very, very mediocre game. And on both a story level and a fighting game level.
Yes.
It sucks.
But I mean, that's an instance of like just a bad collector's edition. Like,
yeah,
with Working Designs, they put heart into it. They wanted you to get a lot out of this. And it was, I mean, $60-$70 back then.
Exactly.
I don't have the sticker on it anymore to tell you what I paid for it.
The sticker on the one I bought had $30.
Oh, wow.
Listed on it from back in the day.
Okay.
It is not 30 now.
No.
Yeah, no, not even close. Like you said, they have one listed at your local game store for $125.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's worth it, but I mean, they did just re-release these.
Actually, yeah, that was another. That was another big point I wanted to bring up. Part of what inspired this idea in the first place, because Dennis and I have been talking about this for a few months, to do a video where we just talk about what we think about Lunar 2 in general. The fact that there was a remastered collection that came out early last year, or was it late 24?
I want to say it was actually around summertime. You know what? I don't want to give you bad information. Give me a second.
Well, it's one of the two.
Riveting.
Yeah, very, very riveting. Want to make sure we give you guys accurate information who end up watching this. So,
well, and what's really nice about it is you're getting both games for the price of one, essentially.
Exactly. You're not paying a ton of money. You have two old RPGs that would cost you a lot of money to buy originally, as we've discussed. And unless you're willing to go and pirate it, just to be blunt, which I would not condoning or recommending in any fashion. I'm not recommending it at all. But to buy an original copy, it's like you have to sell a kidney in order to be able to afford it nowadays. So luckily, with a lot of these companies bringing back these old games that cost a lot of money and are rare on physical consoles, you can buy the remastered versions with extra content, remastered visuals, remixed soundtracks. They include extras like being able to view the manuals and that kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff more companies should do. And Lunar is the latest example of it in the RPG scene that I know of.
April of 25.
Okay, man, so it was
later than that.
I thought it was too, to be honest. I thought it was early. Actually, I thought it was earlier. I thought it was like late 24. Because as soon as the collection came out, I bought it, or a little bit after. So I wanted to go back and I wanted to. That's how I played Lunar 2 for the first time, guys. I wasn't on the PS1. I played the modern remastered version.
And this is the first time that Lunar 2 has been re-released in quite some time. Because Lunar 1, you had Sega Saturn, you had PlayStation, you had PSP. You had PlayStation Network, you have iOS. Lunar 2, last version was probably through PS Network, I think.
Yeah.
And that was many, many years ago.
Yep. And not really around anymore, so good luck if you want to get it that way. But I think that's part of the reason why they re-released it, because they realized there was so much hype still over this game years later. Because a lot of people on YouTube still cover it. A lot of people on the internet do in general. So you have this popular series that hasn't had an entry in years. Because I think the last entry, the Lunar series isn't, I think this is a common mistake too. And a lot of people have been talking about the games more since the re-release, because these games were sold really well for the remastered versions. A lot more people are being able to experience these games for the first time. But a misconception that I keep seeing is that the series ended with Lunar 2. It did not. There were actually more games after that in the more modern day. Like, we're talking Nintendo DS here.
That was Lunar Legacy, wasn't it? It was like a prequel.
Lunar Legacy. It was a prequel. I don't think it was called Lunar Legacy. Maybe it was. It was a DS title that came out in 2008, 2009. I want to say. And then that game was a prequel to the original Lunar games in the series. Unfortunately, the Lunar game on DS bombed very badly. It wasn't considered a great game. The reviews on it were really bad. It didn't sell very well. And that was pretty much the end of the Lunar series in terms of original games, not re-releases.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was probably a completely different team that was making that game.
I think it was.
Which is really hard when you have just two banger games like Lunar 1 and Lunar 2. And then it's like, okay, we've got a brand new team and they just don't have the same heart and soul. And it's not to say that they're bad programmers or anything like that.
No.
I'm not getting it. It's just, if you don't have the same passion for the project, you might have some passion, but not the same. It's just not going to be a good game.
It's a problem that's been developing for a lot of series and RPGs in general over the years. Because Lunar, as we've talked about before, Lunar 1 was a fantastic game. Lunar 2, for pretty much all the same reasons, is also a fantastic game with some differences. But I think the whole game is pretty much improved as a whole. But the current RPG landscape, a lot of AAA companies nowadays aren't really making them like they used to. In fact, the most recent example, you probably never heard about this game, as Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It's this really obscure indie game that came out. I don't think anyone's played it yet or
vaguely heard about that one.
I think I did too. There was a trailer.
Maybe it could get an award.
Maybe it earned 9 awards at the Game Awards, and then surpass Elden Ring as the most awarded game in history. That game alone for Clair Obscur. By the way, if you haven't played it, it's a fantastic game. I love it.
I'm
it's
still
great
working my way through it.
It's very, very good.
Yes.
You won't regret it. But this game, though, it took an indie company, Sandfall Interactive, the studio who made Clair Obscur. This game was made by an indie studio, not a AAA company. This game was more successful, had more positive reviews, and did things that every RPG fan has been wanting from a modern day RPG for years. The kind of reason that we love series like Lunar, Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, so many RPGs out there.
Yep.
There's a reason why people love them. Clair Obscur did all of that. Great story, great world, music, characters, great unique way of traversal, combat, the combat system being unique and innovative, being turn-based but having its own unique mechanics, having explorative areas, super bosses, side quests, funny and humorous moments. It had a great dramatic story. It did its own unique thing, like a lot of the Final Fantasies have done for each entry.
Or
a lot of AAA exactly, or at least from that era. But beyond that, though, a lot of the RPGs you see nowadays, they're just cookie cutter, copy and paste generic messes. It took an indie company to make a successful game. Apparently the most successful game in history at this point. Look at the awards this thing has won.
Yeah, and it was only $40. I saw a lot of people bitching about that price point, and it was mostly like people in the industry that were pissed off about that. Like, oh, you can't sell your game for that little. It's like, the hell they can't.
Yes, they can. Well, yes, they can.
Yeah, the price point was part of what made it great. It's like $40 for getting an awesome game.
Exactly. On top of that,
yeah,
and then
I've paid for crap games, you know, a lot more money, and like this one is genuinely much better. And it's just like, it's people that understand that gamers love gameplay over messaging or just having pretty graphics, or, oh, I got this person to do this voice. Wonderful, but is your game fun to play?
Is it fun to play? Does it have a good story to it? What are you looking for in a video game? To have a fun and immersive experience, to get lost in another world. Not playing the newest Call of Duty where there's some guy faking an Indian accent making racist jokes.
I don't
play pretty much all the clips I've seen. Yeah. That's a COD classic right there. Don't do any of that stuff. It's wrong, but it's realistically, it happens a lot.
I don't play those games because my fragile ego can't take being beaten by a 10-year-old. And also, if I made the joke that I had sex with their mother, with my age, there's a possibility they could be like, Dad?
Yep. Oh, no.
And I don't need that. I don't need, I'm also terrible at shooter games. So
what I'd be more afraid of
definitely
for you,
a skill issue.
Yeah, it may be a skill issue. I think in the minute after you made that joke, you're going to see sirens and blue and red lights outside your house.
God, no kidding.
It's either because of the comment or someone just immediately swatted you, which is unfortunately something that happens with a lot of online streamers. So
I hope not.
I hope, me too.
Oh,
it goes to show.
I was going to say I can bring it back. I've got actually a nice heartfelt story that does tie in with Lunar.
Exactly, and to tie all of this that we've been talking about with the current gaming landscape, RPGs, and how modern games have gone. It goes back to show that games like Lunar 2 and old RPGs in general in this series are fantastic in comparison. Back when developers still had more heart and soul that they put into these games. Because Lunar 2 covers all of those bases that we described for Clair Obscur. Fantastic visuals, great cast of characters, great gameplay, much more improved in the voice acting department, dungeon layout, and having much more emotional character moments, like with Galleon especially, having a redemption arc as the big bad from the original game. This game, in my opinion, improves upon everything from the original game. If you had to make me choose between the two, Lunar 2 is 100% the better game. And it does everything right that the original game did, and it didn't need to improve that much in certain areas like the gameplay and the dungeon layout, because it took those ideas, enhanced them, and made a completely new cast and new world to explore. And it's just better in every way. And no Nash, that's another plus. It's just better in every way.
So when the first Lunar game came out, you know, back again in the late 1900s, one of my buddies, she was sort of into games, but not as much as like the rest of the group. And so I introduced her to Lunar, and I said, like, here, play this one. It's got a good story. It's not complicated. You'll enjoy it. And so she loved the hell out of it. It became one of her all-time favorite games. Fast forward to probably right around Christmas time of 25. And she posts on Facebook that she got the collection, and she messaged me. She's like, man, how's this for a blast from the past? Remember this one? I was like, oh yeah. And I told her, like, you're going to love the second game, because I don't think she ever played it, but it was great because it got her like into the RPGs, and she just enjoyed the hell out of it because, I mean, it's fantastic storytelling. It's easy enough to grasp. You're not pressing a ton of different buttons to do complex combos, and simplicity sometimes is the best.
Absolutely, it is. Simplicity is key into enjoying a lot of these games over time, and it's something that Lunar did very well back in the late 1900s. Like Dennis said, back in the 90s, it accomplished so much at a time where gaming was starting to get off on its feet with like 3D games in the 90s, PS1 era. PS2 is still years off.
Yeah,
it accomplished a lot in that era, where a lot of people to this day still look back fondly on it. There was a lot of games I played when I was a kid, Lunar not included, that I look back on them now and I'm like, I'm nostalgic for them when I played them at the time, but playing them nowadays, it's not the most fun experience. Like the original Crash Bandicoot, I can't get into the original PS1 game anymore. It's a classic, but I would play the Insane Trilogy remake over the original game. It's aged in way too many areas. Still a classic game, but not the best one to play now. A game like Lunar, though, this is where the expression "age like fine wine" comes into play. When you have a game that's been out for so many years, in this case, several decades, that still holds up in so many ways, like it's nice to listen to, nice to look at, fun to play. That's what we mean by age like fine wine. Because of the fact that this game, despite its being 30-some years old at this point, it came out, it's my age, actually. I'm 27 years old when the PS1 version came out. 1994, it's like 31 or 32 years old for the original Saturn version.
32.
You look for 32. 32 years later from the original game, it still holds up. You can't really say that about a lot of games from that era. Lunar 2 is one of the few games, several like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI, if we're talking RPGs, that are still beloved to this day for a reason.
Yes. And again, it just goes back to, I mean, I think the smaller teams back then for development helped a lot. I mean, they're able to talk more. They don't have like all the red tape, and they're not dealing with the higher ups that have no idea what they're talking about. It was just a group of people that wanted to make a game and have fun and tell a story.
100%. And we even see that today. Like, again, we talked about Clair Obscur and Sandfall, but you see that a lot in modern day gaming. A lot of AAA companies more so care about making money than making quality games. But you look at a lot of indie developers, though, that have created fantastic games considered to be some of the best of all time. Notable studios like Sandfall Interactive that are new, Yacht Club Games, Sabotage Studios. You have Supergiant Games. You have all sorts of up-and-coming studios that have been around for a while that are making fantastic quality video games. And the fact of the matter is, because such a small team worked on a game like Lunar, not only originally, but then remade it 4 years later for a completely different console, and then took the time to make an awesome collector's edition like what Dennis showed before. Because they didn't just put it out in a plastic case and put it on store shelves. They put effort because they wanted to sell it to fans.
Exactly.
Not just someone to pick it up and throw it on a shelf. They made it for people who love the original, people that would love the sequel. They put their heart and soul into it, and it paid off tremendously as one of the best PS1 RPGs ever made.
Agreed. I wish that we can get. I'm hopeful for this year, quite honestly, because I think 2025 we had many AAA games that just crashed and burned.
Yep, but unfortunately, a lot of them. Yep.
But we saw the rise of all these indie studios coming up with amazing games. I finally got my copy of Lunar Lux. I mean,
Lunar Lux.
It's plays a little bit like Oh gosh,
Yeah.
how did I describe it? It was one that I backed on Kickstarter that I waited forever for on my Switch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got so many amazing studios that have that heart and soul, and it's gamers making games.
Exactly, and we saw it so much last year with Clair Obscur, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silksong finally coming out after 7 years.
Yeah, my son's been playing that one.
Yeah, it's a very fun game, one of my favorite games of all time. I love the original Hollow Knight, and I couldn't believe it when Silksong came out. It was like a fever dream. So to make sure I never forgot about it, I tattooed Hornet on my arm. So
that's nice.
Just to confirm. Yeah, tattoo reveal. Yeah. I got.
Is that Hornet. A Keyblade too?
No, that's yes. Actually, I have a Keyblade there as well.
Okay.
I got this with a family member of mine. This is from Oblivion, my personal favorite Keyblade from nice. Kingdom Hearts 2. Very good. But just goes to show, guys, the landscape of gaming isn't dead, and it's proof even with Lunar. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not a forgotten RPG series because someone took the time and effort to bring it back to the modern day, to remaster it and release it on modern consoles for people to play or to experience for the first time. So clearly Lunar is not a dead and forgotten series either. So it's still in someone's mind. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone through the effort.
And it's possible that this could revitalize a desire to make another game in the series.
Maybe. Could be like the Epic Mickey effect. Come out with a remastered game in the series, and if it sells well enough, maybe they'll make another one.
Yeah. But if they do, I hope that they can get some of the original people that worked on it so that you can have, I don't know, that wow factor, that the people that just like, they loved bringing that world to life to just bring you more stories, but it's hard to say anymore.
I would hope too. What I'm banking on right now is we get the X Nash edition to the game. If they remake the original, just cut Nash out of everything. So that you can make someone better, I'm sure. Even if you go the whole betrayal storyline, you can find someone better than Nash.
They'll just add a mustache to him and change his name to Mash. just to screw with everyone.
Hello, I'm not Nash. I'm Francois.
Yes.
Nash.
That works.
Yeah. French Nash.
Yes.
I can see them doing that too. Just reusing assets.
Well, save some time.
I'll still play the game, but I'm going to leave a slightly heated review on your website if you do that.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. It won't affect my rating, though, but I will say some not so nice things in the comments.
All righty.
But, I mean, yeah. I think we covered a lot of things surrounding Lunar 2. Kind of a general overview this time around with a lot of good discussion chucked in there too surrounding it. Before we maybe look into closing this off here for a briefer stream, is there anything you wanted to kind of say to close this off, Dennis? Anything you want to comment on, a topic, anything along those lines?
In regards to Lunar, support the company that brought it back. So buy an actual copy. Don't pirate.
Yeah, please.
When it comes to some of these smaller studios and indie studios as well, they're worth spending the money on. They're worth, paying for the game rather than just 100%. Trying to pirate. And I do know people that pirate everything, and I tell them it's like, this is one you don't do it to. All right. These are people that put a lot of effort into it. Check them out, support them. That's how we get good stuff.
Yep. You could see it with Silksong when that came out. There were people that started to pirate the game and then posted online, wait, guys, the pirators refused to pirate Silksong. That's how big of a deal the game was when it finally came out and how good it was.
Yes.
So it's same thing for Lunar. Please don't pirate it.
Yeah. It is worth spending the money. I mean, if you have to find it used, that's perfectly fine. Why somebody would turn it in for 3 cents in store credit at GameStop, I don't know.
That's if GameStop's even going to be around by that time.
Yeah, we got like 2 more weeks before they're done.
Okay, yeah. So don't be trading any copies of Lunar anytime soon, guys.
Yeah. but definitely like support them. This is how we keep gaming alive, is by actually supporting them and by telling the bigger studios, your stuff sucks.
Yeah.
Give us something better.
Do something better.
Yes. Be better.
Again, yeah, be more like Clair Obscur. That's going to be the new definition, because that's an indie game that came out of nowhere and has still taking the world by storm.
Yes.
It's followed, and an indie studio did that, of all people. A small team of like 30-some people. Granted, they had connections, but 30-some people worked on the core of this game. It says a lot.
Exactly.
So
and I think their budget was like 10 mil compared to something like Borderlands, which was 350 or something.
Yep. Between Clair Obscur and Borderlands 4, guess which one was more successful? It wasn't Borderlands 4. I'll give you a hint.
Yeah. Like, I played Borderlands 4. It's okay. It's like it peaked at 2.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. Handsome Jack is still favorite villain for a bunch of people in the series.
Yes. They're trying to expand upon the universe and everything, but I think the damage is done.
I played pre-sequel.
That one wasn't bad.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
I didn't play the other ones yet.
No,
I tried to play Borderlands 3, but I couldn't get into it. Sorry.
Yeah, just play 2.
Probably play 2. Yeah, I should probably just play 2.
Just 2, and you're good.
Yep.
And you're golden.
Absolutely. Every time you say that, though, I keep thinking back. I have flashbacks to K-pop Demon Hunters when you say that.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I hear on the radio.
Popped in my head, too.
Yep.
My daughter listens to it all the time when she's at rifle practice.
Oh, gosh. You can only imagine. It won an Oscar, so it says something.
Hey, again, that wasn't a big studio. That was
done. No, again, that ties back to small studios, yeah. And now it's one of the most popular animated movies of all time.
Yep.
And we're getting a sequel in 2029.
It takes time to make a good story and everything.
Yeah, it does. There's a prequel movie, though, coming out before that, between now and 2029. So it'll be like 3 movies out, I guess, by then.
Good Lord. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either, but the movie was so successful, they're going to milk it for all it's worth.
Oh, 100%.
As long as I watched the movie, and yeah, I'm willing to admit that openly on the internet as a 27-year-old man, but I did watch it because I was curious about what all the hype was about. Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good for what it is. The animation's impressive, and there's some funny humor at points, and the music is actually pretty good for what it is. Storytelling and most of the characters, like the antagonist, not really there, I think, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I think it was solid. The music is what makes it.
Thankfully, I've got kids that would watch it, so I can watch it without being all weird.
That sounds a lot better for you because you're watching it with your kids, which makes sense. Whereas me, as someone who, is dating somebody, I don't have any kids, so I have no actual excuse to watch it.
Look, you didn't watch it alone. There you go. You're good.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't watch it alone. That's right. But I still went on my way to watch it and suggested, hey, we should watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I heard it's good.
I'll tell you something that I've learned in my wisdom from the late 1900s. You're never too old to watch cartoons.
No, not at all. Consider this the after party segment of the podcast, by the way, guys, or the episode. This is like the after party combo.
Yes.
We talk about nerdy stuff. This show isn't just about Lunar 2, guys. We can talk about whatever we want. Nerdy stuff. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
And K-pop Demon Hunters, apparently.
Demon Slayer got robbed at the awards.
Yeah, it did. It didn't get nominated for anything, I don't think.
Which is really sad.
It really does.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's really impressive, the animation of how like movies and some games are coming nowadays. And I remember, like, even at the Game Awards, I remember checking that out. Clair Obscur obviously destroyed every other game in every category for the most part. I mean, that wasn't a surprise. Even Team Cherry, the guys who developed Silksong, didn't go to the awards ceremony because they're like, we respect and appreciate, everyone's support for us, but let's be honest here, Clair Obscur is winning Game of the Year. so we're not going to show up. We're going to be busy working on our next game, or in this case, the DLC for Silksong.
Isn't it like two people?
Team Cherry, yeah, it's a really small team. It's not two. I think it's like 10 or less people who worked on this game.
That's still pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. There were two guys who founded Team Cherry to begin with. They only have like a few other employees, though. It's like a team of 10 people or less who made this game. And the reason that they gave for taking 7 years between Hollow Knight and Silksong was because they were having too much fun making the game. It's what they said in interviews. No major reason or backlash. It's just they were having too much fun making it. They had too much money, apparently.
I accept that. You know what?
I do
if
too.
You're having fun, that's good.
Hollow Knight sold 15 million copies so far in its lifetime. That's a lot. That's more than most AAA games. To put it into perspective, it sold more than Final Fantasy 16 did 4 times over. If that says anything. Final Fantasy 16 only sold over 3 million copies, which is good, but for a AAA studio like Square, the fact that an indie studio with only 2 games sold 1 game, their first ever one, 15 million. Come on, Square.
Working against Squeenix, they went with console exclusive.
Yep, they should not have done that.
And at this point in the game, you can't do console exclusive if you want to make money.
Nope.
It's not that 16's a bad game.
No, it's not. It
just doesn't quite feel Final Fantasy.
It does not. The last time Dennis and I actually mentioned this on, I guess, the last after party segment where we talked about like random gaming topics and whatnot, I had not played 16 yet, and some people were asking me what I thought about it. 16's good, like Dennis said. We talked about this a little bit off camera in the past. 16's a solid game. It's definitely not a traditional Final Fantasy game. It's more of a hack and slash Devil May Cry experience with a few turn-based elements like the icon abilities that you can equip to yourself, like Shiva, Bahamut. I did not use Titan at all during my playthrough. I'm not really a defensive gameplay guy. And Bahamut was definitely very underwhelming, I think. I mainly stuck with Shiva, Ifrit, and
Garuda?
Who's the other? No, I used Garuda for a little bit. There was somebody, Ramu. Ramu was the other one I had to click. It is a good game. It's a solid gameplay system. The story's good. It definitely could have used more fleshing out in some areas, but I loved Clive. I loved his story and his very emotional journey that he has with his friends and his family throughout the game, the tragedies that this man endures. And Ben Starr is one of my favorite video game voice actors. He does a fantastic job.
He's so good. As
Clive Rossfield. He was also Verso in Clair Obscur, to reference that again for the umpteenth time. But 16's story was good. The gameplay was good. The music was fantastic in some areas. I love the Titan theme that played. Crap. I'm really bad with the names right now. The hardcore metal rock theme that plays when you faced off against a Titan Lost. That's the name of it. Name of the track. When you go off and face off against Titan Lost in the very last phase where he's this big mountain, that metal track is freaking fantastic. I love that. I listen to it all the time on the way to work when I played 16. It was great. So
I find myself listening to Find the Flames.
Find the Flames is a good one too.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
I like that one. I especially when it was Clive fighting against the Ifrit clone, I guess.
Yeah, or the double. That was like the accept yourself part of the storyline.
Yeah,
where Clive was fighting off against a shadow version of himself because he had to finally accept he was Ifrit. He was the one who destroyed the castle years back, originally caused the death of his brother, and killed a bunch of people. You know, Clive had to accept that part of himself in Final Fantasy, where he had to accept that he was Ifrit. He caused all this death and destruction, and at the end of the day, that added a lot to his character. That's one of the reasons I love Clive as a protagonist. I will say some of the other characters, Ultima has been a major point of contention for Final Fantasy villains, whether he was actually good or not. I liked Ultima because of what he represented. What he actually did was kind of clever, I guess, but I'm mixed on Ultima. I don't know what to think about him.
So I pointed this out. I pointed this out to my daughter, and this doesn't have anything to do with Ultima, but the character design that they did for Sid, he kind of looks like Simon Cowell.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. And so I kept waiting for him to like press a buzzer or something when he disagreed with Clive or anything like that.
100%.
But I feel like we got cheated with how little time we got with Sid.
Yeah, Sid was killed off within the first few hours of the game after you meet him. I mean, it was so abrupt too, because he's okay. It's awesome. Sid's this guy. He's the bearer of Ramu. He's from a distant land outside of Valisthea. He's leading the resistance against the Empire, and trying to free everybody from this magic curse that they're suffering from, and free all these magic wielders from slavery and all that. And then he's killed off almost randomly before you have a random. I'm really bad.
It was inside the crystal.
Yeah, whatever the name of that Ultima spawn was. Yeah.
But it just felt I felt like I was cheated. I was like, I like Sid as a character in most of the games.
His voice acting was great too in 16.
Yes.
He had that gravelly, like he smoked like 10 packs of Marlboro Reds a day kind of voice. Yet it was kind of suave at the same time.
That's what we should have gotten with Sid in the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yep, we should have. That's another bone in contention with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I love the game, but holy crap, some of the story decisions in that game were outright confusing. I haven't talked about this at all, because I've made it clear 7's my favorite game of all time, and holy shit, though. 7 was... I don't know how to start with Rebirth. There's a lot of things I want to say about it. Like, it was a very good game, but there's a lot of nitpicks I have with it as well.
There's a couple of things that they didn't need to add in there, like the weird singing part, Queen's Blade.
Yeah, that card game.
I like card games and everything, but my God.
The fact that they took more effort, they put more effort into the Queen's Blood card game and the storyline with it to solve the Curse of Queen's Blood and, stop the queen that was possessing the cards or something like that toward the end. They put more effort into that than they did explaining the whole multiversal storyline stuff with Zack and Aerith toward the end of the game.
Yeah.
Which, a very emotional scenes. I cried a few times playing Rebirth. I love these characters in the world. But the end of the game with the sequence with Zack, especially when it shows in the alternate timeline where he's trying to either save Cloud or go after Biggs, that was confusing as hell, because it showed multiple scenarios of what Zack could have done. And that's it. They never explained anything about it.
I think the problem is that the writers are trying to be too clever, and in their hubris, they are not able to fully flesh out what they have. Like, what's in here is probably, brilliant.
Absolutely.
And then you try to put pen to paper, and it's just like there's a disconnect.
It's like, this may not be as successful as we think, kind of deal. Because something was just lost in translation. I think it was the biggest issue. Yeah,
agreed.
Fantastic game. Otherwise, definitely recommend. But as a fan of the series, it's definitely, the problem is I call it the Kingdom Hearts effect. Tetsuya Nomura has done great work for Square in the past for several games. Character design, scenario writing for the most part in Kingdom Hearts, and directing. But the problem is with Final Fantasy VII specifically, it all started with the Whispers edition and remake. Then they tried to do this whole multiversal storyline, explore new possibilities, like what if Aerith didn't die? What if Zack was alive? But they're trying to do this multiversal storyline while also trying to please fans of the original. Because that's most of Rebirth. It's a rehash. It's a remade version with some, fun twists and turns here, like with from the original game. Like when they go from the Junon Parade to Costa del Sol, Queen's Blood wasn't a thing. They didn't have a tournament on the ship. Red 13 didn't dress up as the sailor and challenge Cloud to a card game, although he did dress up as a sailor. They added all these extra things in there that work well for a remake from the original events, like funny moments and all that.
Yeah.
New side quests, new characters, that don't add anything to the story, but they're there for world building. But then there are just as many decisions where instead of just trying to remake the original game's events with a new coat of paint and some extra stuff, but trying to appeal to the whole multiversal storyline too, that ends up being really confusing. Because at the end of the game, it ends off the way that Disc 1 ends in the original PS1 game, pretty much. Yeah. But with all these really confusing multiverse elements, like how many versions of Aerith are there? Does she have knowledge of what's going to happen? Is she really alive? Is she dead? Is it part of Cloud's subconscious? How does Zack fit into all this? Is this an alternate timeline? Is this the live stream showing? Or what's Sephiroth's goal here with the Whispers? Like this whole multiversal storyline. It's like he's doing the exact same thing he did in the original Final Fantasy VII with the Black Materia and Meteor. So like, what's going on? It was very confusing toward the end of the game. Fantastic
what
game.
I'm waiting for, and what I'm waiting for is Sephiroth was not really a bad guy. Like he just went about things in a very aggressive manner. And he was all doing this for the good of everyone or the planet.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he's going to be a playable character in the third game. It's going to take you 300 hours to beat.
Oh, I hope not. Please, Square, don't do that.
Not every villain needs to be redeemed.
Yeah, he is iconic, but I've always stood by the opinion he's not one of the strongest villains in the Final Fantasy series on paper. What he actually does, he's iconic in his appearance, his rivalry with Cloud. A lot of the things that he does in the game are really crappy, like burning Nibelheim down and killing Cloud and Tifa's parents. So he does a lot of bad things. But Sephiroth isn't he's not a Kefka in 6. He's not like a lot of these high-level tier villains in the Final Fantasy series. He's not Sin from 10. He's not the corrupt religion Yevon from 10.
He's not the Emperor from 2.
He's like the Emperor from 2 in a lot of ways. Sephiroth is extremely iconic, yes, for his appearance and otherwise. But his role in what he actually does is sit back for most of the game and let Jenova do most of the work. And his motivations don't make a lot of sense. And what I'm afraid Square is going to do is kind of similar to what Dennis said, except they're going to do a thing where there's an alternate timeline version of Sephiroth that shows up, who was good, who didn't go insane even after learning about his origins. And he assists Cloud and party to throw everyone for a loop to stop the main bad Sephiroth that we've encountered for the past 2 games in the remake trilogy. That this alternate Sephiroth is going to help Cloud out, and they're going to do this whole thing to where good Sephiroth kills bad Sephiroth or something like that, or he helps Cloud.
I can see them doing that. They had something similar in Ever 100%. Crisis. So the mobile game. Yeah, I do play the mobile game. I'm a terrible person.
Oh, no.
So you have young Sephiroth where he's like 17 with short hair, which is very weird.
That's so weird.
They have these events where like Zack and Cloud will encounter young Sephiroth. Young Sephiroth has no idea who these guys are, but they've got their past with regular Sephiroth. And so they can't tell him that he turns into an absolute douchebag, but they still fight alongside each other for another, a common threat. So I could see them trying to pull something like that. It's like your younger self must defeat your older self.
Oh, come on.
It would be just the biggest ass pull for a video game franchise to do that.
This is like freaking Kingdom Hearts 3, straight out of the Kingdom Hearts 3 playbook, where Xehanort has his younger self fighting for him and his 2 nobody and heartless versions, which is already confusing enough. I could 100% see them doing it, though, in part 3. I really hope not, though.
And I'll throw in another twist.
Oh no.
With the next 7 Rebirth, Reunion, whatever the hell they call it, will tie directly into Kingdom Hearts 4.
Oh,
it will lead right into Kingdom Hearts 4.
I could see it, like right at the end of the game, like they have a post-credit scene or something in the ending, to where they're like, Sora. Okay, yep, there's Sora just shows up. It's like the events of Rebirth, or the events of the part 3 somehow connect to the Kingdom Hearts universe, to where they end up, that's what sent Sora to the afterworld where he met with Strelitzia. Or it created a new multiverse for Kingdom Hearts or something. I could 100% see it.
That would be so terrible.
Because that would be. It. There's a lot of speculation about part 3 as to whether, okay, is Aerith going to end up being alive? Is Sephiroth really going to be killed? The problem is, and this is part of why I'm curious and flustered a little bit, and I think I know why they're doing this. The original interview that they had with some of the directors of Rebirth said the events of the remake trilogy are going to directly tie in with Advent Children. So Advent Children is still going to be connected in the timeline.
Okay.
In some fashion. My theory is the reason that they're doing this multiverse stuff isn't just to change it up. Do you really think that after they're done with Remake Part 3, they're going to stop making Final Fantasy VII games?
Oh, absolutely not.
I highly doubt it. If you can't do anything with the original story, and you're not following up with Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus, or anything new for the original continuity, wouldn't you make a different game or a bunch of spin-offs about the what-if multiverse stuff that happened in Rebirth? Like a universe where Aerith was alive, and Zack was alive, or Cloud never became a hero, or something like that. That's what I think they're doing with the multiverse stuff. They're going to end off part 3 with the original game story. Maybe do some other stuff with Advent Children or Dirge of Cerberus down the line. Maybe some original stuff. But they're going to make spin-off material with the whole multiverse idea. I'm calling it right here.
I've got it. It'll be Final Fantasy VII Reverse, where you play as Shinra. They're actually the good guys.
No.
And Cloud and everyone are like evil.
Avalanche is the evil organization ruling the world. Shinra's the small terrorist organization trying to take down Avalanche with Rufus, Reno, Rude, Elena.
Yes. Like
I 100% see that too.
Shinra.
Yeah. I could actually see them doing that, and it wouldn't even be they could make that a mobile game, which is what Square's probably going to do.
Don't give them any ideas. It's bad enough that certain things have been locked away because they canceled games.
They made Dirge of Cerberus. Anything's possible in this series now.
Yeah. Look, I would love for them to bring back Mobius, at least as like just something I could play on my console.
I mean, that would be nice.
I liked the game, but I mean, it took a huge chunk of memory on my phone. And then like the gotcha stuff was way overpriced.
That's the problem with the direction because we've talked about RPGs and companies a lot in the past that we really like. Square obviously is near the top of that list because they made so many fantastic games. But most of what they're doing now, if it's not Final Fantasy VII or Kingdom Hearts 4 in 2050, it's usually a mobile or a gacha game.
Yeah.
And that's really sad because they made some of my favorite games of all time are from Square.
I think they also need to put Namco on blast to finally give us the Xenosaga trilogy
please.
On modern consoles.
Please finally remake the original Xenogears on PS1 and release it with better voice acting and a better third act.
Well, not even just like the voice acting, sync it up. That's like my biggest complaint was when you watch the cutscenes. It's not they did not sync it at all. It is so bad, but I still love the game.
Yeah, the game looks fantastic. It's proof Square has made awesome games. They still do on occasion. But like we said before, they're cutting back on a lot of their resources and shutting down divisions because the games aren't selling well. The problem is when you keep it exclusive to a console that was hard to buy for people in the first place, like the PS5, you're not going to sell a lot of copies. Because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth didn't sell. It sold about as much as 16 did, apparently. It sold like 3 million copies on PS5. Which it took that for them to be like, you know what? Maybe we should release it to like PC, Xbox, and stop the timed exclusives. You know?
If you want to do a timed exclusive, do like a month, not a year.
Yeah, not a year.
You're absolutely shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, because you're limiting the amount of sales, the amount of revenue you're going to get at the time. And if that's ultimately what you're looking at as a game company, fair enough. But if you want to see more success after the game comes out when the hype's there, a lot more, do it then.
Exactly.
Don't make it. If you're going to do a timed exclusive, for one, don't do it. I wouldn't think. It hasn't worked out very well for you so far. But if you're going to do it, make sure that you release it on every major console at the time, so more people can play it.
Exactly.
Which is why they're bringing it to Xbox now, finally.
Yeah, forever. How long Xbox lasts now? I swear Microsoft has abandoned consoles.
Yeah, I see PlayStation outlasting Microsoft a lot more. They have a lot more games and consoles and series going for them, which is why the PS5 ends up being the exclusive console nowadays.
Now, and I know a lot of people that love Nintendo and everything, but Nintendo in the last year or two has just really shot themselves in the foot as well.
Yep.
With the Switch 2, the Switch 2 is a neat system and all that, but it combined the worst of digital only and physical. And the thing is that I have to be connected to the internet to start up my console in order to use it for the first time. If I buy a physical game, it's not even on the game card. I have to download it to the game card. What is the point? And then I'm paying an extra $10 for that.
I have seen that with the Nintendo Switch 2. I just watched a video from someone the other day talking about how a bunch of game stores overseas, like EB Games, the GameStop equivalent in the UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, has been closing. The guy who was discussing it in the video talked a lot of these new games coming out now, they're part of the reason why video game stores are closing and physical media is kind of trickling out for digital. The Nintendo Switch 2, you buy a case still, no manual, but you get a case, but you have this little cartridge, but it's not actually the game cartridge. You put it into the Switch 2, it's a key card. You buy the key card, put it into the Switch, you still don't have the game yet. You have to download it off the Nintendo Switch store before you can play it. So buying it and getting the cartridge or the key card isn't enough. You still need an internet connection to go and download the game you just spent $60, $80 on.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Well, and that's why you see a lot more people just going back to older games. Yep. I've seen a huge uptick in younger folks playing things from, I guess it's now considered old, like the 360 and older era.
That's old now? No.
Yeah. But the thing is they're complete games. It's a full experience. I don't have microtransactions up the yin yang.
God.
I mean, the one thing that sucks for some of these games is that certain content is locked out because of storefronts.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
And I mean, I see that's part of the reason why I see a lot more people pirating is because they want to be able to have that full experience. I want to be able to get the DLC. I found a version of the game, but I can't play the full thing. I can't get the full experience back with that.
It's like, oh gosh, that's one of the biggest issues with it nowadays. Because you want to get the full experience for your game right off the bat, but prices have gone up on so many of the consoles and games already that if you don't want to do that, well, guess what? You get a Game Shark, you find the right website, do whatever you have to do. Okay, Game Shark, a lot of you don't know what that is. That's also old now too, but
Game Genie.
Yeah, Game Genie. You guys ever got the Game Genie? You know what that is? That's a real relic.
It really is.
So, for those of you guys on your PS5 emulators or whatever you're using nowadays, man, I am old. Yeah, that's how a lot of people are doing it now to play these new games. And I get it on one hand. I'm not condoning doing it because for all intents and purposes, I don't want Nintendo coming after me or Dennis or anybody for that matter. But I get why people do it for the game prices and availability. It's not really there anymore because that's the reason why I didn't buy a Switch 2.
I can't afford it, and I just don't want it. I've got so many games already on my Switch, my 3DS. Like my backlog, I could probably never buy a new game again, and I will still have stuff to play till I die.
Yep, 100%.
And the problem with oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, the problem with it is kind of like what you said. You have so many games in your backlog already, and it doesn't help with these new consoles coming out because a lot of the new games coming out on the new console are the same games that you have on other consoles in your backlog. So what would be the point in buying it new right out of the gate when it has the same copies of, oh yeah, I remember that, Super Mario Brothers on the NES on the digital store. That's cool. Metroid Prime, Zelda, Majora's Mask, or Ocarina of Time. Super Mario Galaxy. That's cool. I got that on the Wii and the Switch already, the original Switch. So it's like, well, why would I want to go back and play any of these on the Switch too? You know, for a smoother frame rate, maybe the screen's a bit brighter. Maybe make me Pop-Tarts while I eat or something. I don't know. Or I play. There's no point in buying it. I don't think right off the bat.
Well, and I'm just looking over at my wall of games because I was very irresponsible in my youth buying games. Going back to the digital storefront thing, one of the games that I really enjoyed on the 360 was Ashura's Wrath. And the problem with that, I mean, it's a fantastic game. Like it's operatic in terms of like scope and everything. But the true ending was Paygate. You had to pay like $5 for the DLC for it, and that's the true ending. Otherwise, the ending of the game is very unsatisfying if you have just the disc. And so anyone that goes back to play a game like that, where like some of the story is hidden behind a Paygate, I mean, they're not going to get the full experience, and they're missing out.
That's another big issue with it too. Like, what some companies do, and I don't get why, they re-release Ashura's Gate. And they keep everything the same for fans of the original. They just bring it to modern consoles, like a lot of people do. Like they bring the Switch 2, PS5, new Xbox, whatever. They keep the game. Ugh.
Nope, froze up. And you're back.
Okay, good. He's still here.
Yes.
I don't know what was going on with that.
Some kind of hiccup with the internet.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, it's like one of those things. They re-release the game, but then they keep the DLC paywall the exact same.
Yeah.
Where you have to still go in and buy it. Despite the fact this game is several years old, you still have to go in and pay for the DLC. Despite the fact it's a 360 game, you're still buying the extra content, even though this is an HD version that's out like 10 to 15 years later, maybe more. Why not just include it in the game? Stop trying to get me to pay the extra $5 or whatever it costed back in the day, or cost back in the day.
And the thing is that DLC is at the same price. Often.
Yeah, that's the problem too.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so an older game and I'm paying less for that version of the game, but now I'm still paying the full price for the DLC. That's not okay.
No, it is not at all.
Yeah, just got way too many games over there. And even with the backlog that I have, I will also still go through and play games that I've already beaten several times.
Exactly.
So currently working on Birth by Sleep on the PS5 right now.
Good luck.
Yes. I forgot how grindy that is.
Yep, 3 separate campaigns for that one. For those of you who aren't Kingdom Hearts fans, Birth by Sleep is, I would say, probably the longest one in the series. Mainly because you have 3 campaigns you're playing through.
Yeah.
That's why. Not for any special reason. It's longer, I would argue, than Kingdom Hearts 3 for the story.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially 3 separate games when you think about it.
Yeah, 3 separate scenarios, boss fights, fighting styles, enemies, bosses, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
same world, but different areas. No.
Yeah. I mean, I could have done without the mini games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, especially like in Disney Town.
Yes.
Like, there's only so many times I want to play this kart racing mini game to trounce Pete for the 1,000th time in the series.
Yeah.
So
I'm just trying to get a Keyblade, man. That's all.
That's literally it. Please get off the track and just banish him to the void already that he ends up in before Maleficent rescues him in series.
Yes.
Just do it. I mean, it is a good game. All in all. I do like, there is a certain order you have to play them in though to get the full story experience. I can't, like, chronologically, I can't remember what the order is exactly. I thought Terra was the first one.
Yeah.
Like Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, or is it Terra, Ventus, and Aqua?
I believe Aqua's the last one. I'm trying to see if I can spot the guide. Again, all of my old books, non-electronic guides that I have.
Non-electronic old dudes over here reading books.
Carved into stone and wood and everything.
100%.
Yeah, I do have a guide for that one. I'm just seeing it. I can't spot it from here because I got too much crap in the way. But yeah,
those of you watching the video, you tell us. Because I'm pretty sure it's. You look like Mickey out of what was that? There was an animated Disney short that he was in where he had the sorcerer's hat from Yensid, the Sorcerer's Apprentice, where he waved his hands and he magically made brooms and whatnot come to him. That was like an older Mickey. Fantasia, that's what it was. You look like Mickey Mouse in Fantasia when you were doing that.
Oh, I'm gonna find my guide somehow.
I love that voice.
Yeah, I can also do Jerry Seinfeld. Not proud of that one.
I can't do either of them very well.
So, fun fact about me for all your listeners and viewers: everyone in my family has musical talent except for me. I can do voices.
There you go.
I cannot read music. I cannot sing. I cannot play an instrument. But everyone else in my family can.
Yeah. Like, literally, guys, I can't touch a musical instrument to save my life. But if you need me to sound like Homer Simpson or Mickey Mouse, I'm your guy.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, it is not useful at all.
No,
it's superpower.
You get into a voice acting career or voiceover. It might work out well for you.
That's part of the reason I did the podcasting and everything, is that I get to be an entertainer and have fun.
There you go. Sound like Mickey all day.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to some of the Rulebooks Anonymous episodes where we have, I think it's our sponsor, Leg Up. It's a restaurant that sells nothing but turkey legs. I am the voice of Gilbert Turkey in that.
Oh, Gilbert Turkey. You told me about Leg Up. You never told me who the mascot was. Gilbert Turkey.
Gilbert Turkey. We sell nothing but turkey legs. The weird thing is
Gilbert Turkey. Congratulations. We're bankrupt, huh?
That's pretty good.
Because we sold nothing but turkey legs.
Yeah.
I tried. I can't do it.
It started off as just a random conversation on the show and became a running gag. Here we are 8 seasons in and it's still there.
Oh my word. Yeah. Still around. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Games to play. Yep.
Too many board games.
Well, just looking again at my wall, doing the Mickey thing again. Looking at my wall.
We'll transport it over.
There's a lot of games over there, huh?
I'm like, I don't know. Could I? Maybe I can do a Mickey accent. It's like something Mickey would something to say. What's something recent with Disney I could say?
We're bankrupt.
We're bankrupt. Huh?
There you go.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Or maybe I can think of something else here. Pixar's remaking Toy Story because they're now making money on original movies.
Yeah, that's accurate.
That's
yeah. And unless you start looking at some of those weird AI slop trailers.
Yep.
Oh my god.
We ran out of money. Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Disney has now turned to AI officially, which is not a lie. It's true. You can look it up. That's for real.
Well, it's cheaper, I guess.
Yep. It's cheaper than hiring real actors, I guess.
Yes, now everyone is going to sound like Chris Pratt and James Earl Jones.
Oh, God, yep. For those of you who don't know who Chris Pratt is, he is it's a me Mario and a Garfield.
And Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, yeah, but I don't remember him as Star-Lord anymore. I remember him as Mario.
Yeah, I could see that. I am a little excited for the next Mario movie.
I am too. Super Mario Galaxy?
Yes.
Great choice. Although I am wondering how Bowser Jr. is going to tie into it, though.
We are just like 4 movies away from Smash Brothers the movie. We're getting closer because we've got Sonic, we're getting Zelda, we've got Mario. We just need Kirby in there.
They're actually looking the next big Nintendo movie they're planning on making after Zelda and Mario to make their own little universe is Metroid, I believe.
Oh.
Is another one they're looking into, which makes sense actually given the space setting.
If you're going to do Metroid, you have to do it with the suspense and the horror theme. You don't throw in the cartoony stuff.
What do you I don't think they're going to do that for a kids movie. I think they're going to go the cartoony like suspenseful route, which is I'm calling it now. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Man, part of the joys of Metroid is that it's got the horror, suspense, and everything, isolation, all of that. You can't have some kind of plucky sidekick, which I'm sure that'll be voiced by Chris Pratt as well.
There's a lot of people,
or Pedro Pascal, because he's in everything.
Or Pedro Pascal, yeah.
Actually, I mean, you know what? Give me a Metroid voiced by Walter Goggins. Yeah, but he has to sound like the ghoul from Fallout.
Oh God! You know what? I'm going to do Jerry Seinfeld is who I'm going to try and voice him as.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Bee Movie? Oh, that was
unfortunately
awful.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. If we could go back and change anything in the timeline, just like with like a feeling of deja vu, we could go back and convince him, do not make the Bee Movie. I feel like I've seen something trashy like this before. Please don't. DreamWorks is not going to make a ton of money off of this.
No, it will spawn a lot of memes.
And these memes were funny for a while, and then they got really annoying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I do threaten my kids. I do threaten my kids with showing them the Bee Movie if they misbehave. Which is great for
the fact it's used as a punishment says everything right there.
It's great for a 13 and a 16-year-old. No, you guys are watching the Bee Movie now.
Yeah.
Give me your phones.
Side note, but I'm fairly certain in the Bee Movie that they illegally used Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. Even though they didn't name them, I'm pretty sure they used them without permission from Disney. I'm pretty sure. Unless Winnie the Pooh was in the public domain.
No,
when the Bee Movie came out. Okay, then
movie was made.
They may not have named them, but they showed their likeness. It was Winnie the Pooh and Piglet, and they had the same kinds of voices. Technically, Disney could have sued DreamWorks over that. I think.
Yeah, can't get blood from that stone.
No, it's not. No, that's gone.
Yeah. So
the Bee Movie didn't really make anything. So yeah, good luck.
No, it made trauma. That's what it made.
It made trauma and awful memes.
Yeah. All right. On that note, I probably should go and torture the kids.
That was part of the plan here, guys. The after party segment of this show has concluded, where we talked about a bunch of random nerdy things from companies to video games to somehow ending on the Bee Movie. So awesome as always for the after party segment. Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome.
This is the one thing people are going to remember from the stream. They're going to be watching this in the video, and they're like, something about the Bee Movie. I don't remember. Like, forget Lunar 2 or any of the other awesome game topics. Like Jerry Seinfeld and Bee Movie.
Yes,
that's all it was.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the only memorable part of this episode.
It'll be the highlight of the whole show.
Oh God, I hope not. If I make shorts out of this by some chance, the first one I'm making is the Bee Movie. Excellent. And I'm just going to put in the description literally the whole episode. That's what I'm going to put. It was an hour. It was about a 2-hour podcast stream on the Bee Movie, even though it only took up like 5 minutes.
So next time we do one of these, we need to somehow find a way to throw in Bee Movie references.
Oh yeah, Bee Movie references. Just make bee puns. Maybe use lines from the movie. You know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Or it means we have to do like Flushed Away now, Shark Tale, all sorts of other DreamWorks movies from that era that have very mixed perception.
Yes.
Especially Shark Tale.
Oh. Yeah.
That'll be interesting.
That was not a great one.
No. The only thing that I remember about that one was when there was a point in the movie where Oscar, I remember, he was trying to impress this girl. He was deep in debt with the mob and all that. His manager of the car wash was talking smack about his girlfriend. So he walked up there in the middle of the car wash, slapped him in front of a bunch of people and said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," which was pretty random, actually. That was an interesting scene from Shark Tale.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Definitely not from the officers in 2022.
No.
No, not at all.
I can't imagine that happening in real life.
No, that happened in the 2004 movie classic Shark Tale. Anyway, guys, before we continue down this rabbit hole, thank you, Dennis, so much for being here. I appreciate it. This was a great review of Lunar 2. Some great after party talk. Next time we have him on, this show is basically with Dennis at this point, guys. Every time I bring him on, this is just what it's going to be. I have to come up with a name for this show that we do. But this was a great one. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to it. Check out Dennis and all his social media accounts on his podcast, Rulebooks Anonymous, and other projects he's working on. To conclude off this stream, Dennis, anything you want to say to everybody?
Play more games.
Play more games. Don't watch the B movie.
Don't watch the B movie.
Yeah,
I don't think they made a game out of it, so don't. If they did, don't play it.
They did. They made a.
There's the next episode. We find copies and we review the B movie game.
Review of the B movie. Forget classic RPGs or any RPG. B movie.
Yes, nothing but B movie.
Unfortunately, it's real. It's on the PS2 and the Xbox 360, maybe PS3.
Oh, I'm hunting it down.
It is a really crappy looking game, but you know what? I'll buy it and play it for the next episode. That'd be funny.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. B movie stream next, guys.
Yes.
Yes. Right. Otherwise, though, now we have an idea for next time. Thank you guys once again for checking this out. Once again, thank you to Dennis for being here. It was fun as always, and we will see you guys next time.
Farewell.
Close stream.